All right, we are live. And the goal, we're doing some ground beef. I wouldn't say correct way, but a better way than usual. A lot of folks make gray ground beef. Mom, talking to you a little bit. I'm not sure if you've improved. I haven't been spectating your progression. But folks make gray ground beef, and it's not as good as making it essentially in a way in which you get a mild reaction. That is caused by, I forget exactly, but it's like a crust for the beef. It tastes better. Makes it more salty. I guess it gives it that umami flavor. Folks say that word a lot. I'm trying to incorporate it in my vocabulary. Not sure when to use it. I will get better. I'm also making lunch, or my first meal. So we're doing a tater, as per usual. And these taters are actually bigger than the ones I normally get too. Pretty excited. I played 007 recently. There's been a lot of discourse around that game and whether or not it's worth $70. I don't think it is, but I'm not out here telling folks not to buy it. Don't get the game. It's just not. It's not good. Some folks make it their whole life's purpose, which they do it for no monetary gain, which is interesting and weird. But people are so determined to tell you their opinions on things, and they do it in a very disingenuous way. Because someone was comparing the race scenes, or one person was saying that racing in Bond is kind of not that great for XYZ reason. Another dude was saying that's like trying to bring up combat is bad in Forza Horizon 6 when there is no combat. Anyway, I might digress on the whole game talk just because it's like a whole bunch of nonsense these days. Like there's no actual discourse. It's just people saying nothing worth listening to. And that is what all people are talking about. Look at these idiots. Like, there's nothing fun. There's nothing engaging to talk about. I did buy a cutting board, but I don't think I'm going to use it that much. And the reason why is I usually make eggs when I do stuff. So I'll cut up potatoes, then make eggs. If I crack eggs on this, I gotta wash this. I'll wash it anyway, sure. But I'm debating on whether or not I should just use parchment paper forever. Like I do parchment paper, double layer it, small little piece, kind of, and I can just throw it away. I can crack eggs on it, I can cut stuff on it, and it's not a big deal. This is pretty cool. It's a safe light cutting board. It was like $50, maybe 60 plus shipping. We'll use it just cause. First, I shall wash my potato in a farm style sink. If you guys ignore the counters. Okay. Ignore the counters. Matter of fact, avert your eyes. If you don't have a farm style sink and you can get one, you should. They're just better. They're bigger. The division between the sinks is whack and garbage and does nothing. Yeah, why people are so divisive with their own sinks? Why are you splitting them up? What does that do for you? What purpose does it serve? Okay, this tater has got, I'm gonna have to dig out all this nonsense. It's got weird stuff in it. It's got a lot of, I wouldn't even say imperfections. Something's growing in my potato. There are no counters to ignore here. I'm confused. Oh, you know what? That's a fair observation. Okay, listen, we have an empty orange juice carton. That's a staple in everyone's household. Two things to catch gnats that have been here for a while and they're still sticky. I actually quite like those a lot. I've got a GameWorks member card from when I was in TwitchCon doing, or actually, was that TwitchCon? I think it was. That's back in like 2022. I've got a Odo patch that I think we don't even sell. But that was like the first rendition of my guy, which I don't know why. My brother, sometimes he likes to do certain things and get like, he likes to go gung-ho on images that I don't think folks are interested in. And that's one of them. That's like my OG icon for, I guess, content creation. Way back when. It was actually my Twitch flare and Dauntless too. Bro, what the heck? I've been having pretty good potatoes that don't have anything crazy going on. This one's like, I gotta excavate all this nonsense. This probably won't hurt me, but I see it, so I have to get it gone. To a degree, at least. How's it going? It's going alright. Things are looking up, kinda. I'm improving my mentality on stuff. which is very helpful. Okay, after we have gored our potato for no particular reason, we've assessed the counters don't even exist, there is no space, so how can a counter begin to even have a place of well-being? Time to cut our tater. Rotation. Also, I got a new cable, a longer one from Cable Matters, so I can do better zoom stuff. Actually, I can just move you closer, technically. Hello? Boom. Alright, we need to be somewhat quick because I do want to get this in the oven to reduce some of the moisture and then back out the oven to add olive oil to then add back to the oven to cook. It's a process. It's the tater technology, okay? We have tater tech that's actually been discussed previously. It's not a newfound revelation. And then we have ground beef tech that's also been discussed, but it's never been the focus, so to speak. You need a 10-inch blade. It is necesito. Because sure, it's like, oh, that's a lot of extra space. You don't need that. Until you do. I can cut 3 potatoes back to back if I want. It's just that this potato is like 400 grams, so that's actually good enough for me. It's actually about 450 grams probably. Good, move the mouse. Move the phone. I'm interested. Oh, 500 grams. Dang it. I need to get better at that. Anyway, we're cutting, I wouldn't say like big slices. These are probably 1/4 inch. That one's scuffed, but whatever. I will probably get a mandolin just to see if it changes my life. But my new tech for taters makes it so I don't have to be super precise and they don't really get burnt that often. The only time you'll burn potatoes or essentially chip them and turn them into potato chips in a sense is by making them super thin when others aren't that thin, or you let the whole batch stay in the oven for a prolonged period of time. You know, that happens. People forget. The whole reason I even got, this is a different thing, but in reference to forgetting, the whole reason I do stainless steel is I one time left green beans in a Teflon pan for so long it got absolutely obliterated. So now, in most cases, I have dummy-proof food cooking technology. Exceptions are, I just got some, I think, silicone cookware, which they say is PFA is free and whatnot. It's good up to like 350 degrees. Realistically, you probably shouldn't be using some of that stuff for direct cooking, but I'll probably use it for some eggs. Maybe today even. Okay, so we have blemish number 1. What even is that blackness though? Like what does it do? Is it a big deal? Does it matter? I think I ask this every stream and I either don't look at the answers or no one knows. But I cut it off regardless. And boom. All right, stack these up. I like doing a big stack just cause. Make a big old tower. Big old tater tower. This one's a bit lopsided. No. Oh, wait. No, there's no structural integrity. Oh, I fixed it. Hooray. All right. Get you the small strainer known to mankind. Bada bing, bada boom. And then separate these things. Now, last stream we were talking about doing Rice Krispies. I think I might still do that. I'm just not sure when. I kind of just get into my own habit of stuff. And honestly, doing this stream is... I cook like this basically every day. But I don't always feel like streaming it. Oh, that's a thick... Wait, this is a thick piece of tater. What the heck? I messed up. The rest of these are okay. Boom. I'm going to rinse these off with hot water. Fairly hot water. Go ahead and cut this just because. Boom. All right. Sick. BRB. We're cooking potatoes and ground beef. I'm going to use the mild reaction technology. And I'm also going to deglaze the pan with some beef broth, or some bone broth rather, that's beef flavored. That's the strategy. And I'll show you my borderline autistic way of preparing ground beef, because I'm pretty sure I do it very differently than most. Like, I think a lot of folks, what they do for ground beef, they chop it up, and then from there, they just let it cook, they let it gray, not even brown, they let it gray. They say brown, but it doesn't do that, it just grays. Ignore the counters. They're not there, I get that, but still. Just, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I gotta stop zooming in. When I zoom in, it messes up everything, and I forget about it. Like in this case, I guess it's decent, because you can see this. That's fine. It's a fine. All right, so this towel has been here for a while. I won't even lie. I think it's okay. I don't make these potatoes for anyone else but me, but I should definitely cycle out the towel here soon. I need to do some laundry. I bought some of these Turkish cotton towels. Let me see if they suck or not. It's actually hard to find a good towel that doesn't just have either the inability to dry anything off. That's actually the main problem. Or it has a bunch of fuzzies that get everywhere. And when it comes to food and cleaning dishes, that can be annoying, because then you just have a bunch of fabric on your newly cleaned plate, which is tilting, to say the least. I had something like that in a potato I was eating yesterday, and wondered what it is as well. I don't know. They're usually not too annoying potatoes for me. Like, they're not everywhere. There have been times where it's like the entire inner core of a potato is just like decrepit. But honestly, from HEB, I get the 8-pound potatoes. I think they're russet, and they come out pretty good. I like them a lot. The temp on the oven is 360. That's actually good. Quickly put these on your already parchment papered Texas-sized sheet pan and get them in the oven until it hits 425. That is my strategy. That's my plan. I could just burrito this towel and dump them all in quickly, but like I said, I haven't cleaned the towel in a while, so I don't want to do that. All right, sick. These will cook for about 30 minutes because we're already going to be drying them off and getting them, I wouldn't say cooked, but getting them warm in the oven, which is over there. Boom. Seasoning, I mostly use salt. So I think it is almost I wouldn't say it makes you a weak person. That's a bit too extra. But if you need seasoning to make your food edible, I think you're doing something wrong, personally. Like, I had salt, but I can eat ground beef without seasoning at all. I can eat potatoes, no seasoning. But I usually just do salt. It's easier. Ideally, I would like to get more seasonings. I'm just not sure what I enjoy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Turn your handles to the side. Come on, guys. Where are you raised? Like, I've got these random seasonings my mom gives me, like Italian everything taco. Those don't really do what I want right here. I've got rosemary herb. I don't quite like that, though. Like, it doesn't taste much like anything. Garlic parmesan, also not bad, but I don't need it. Like, salt's chill. Raise you up. Oh, don't zoom in. That's the wrong thing. Boom. Because we have some time to burn. We'll do this. Oh, the counters, man. The counters. Salt and black pepper is all you need. I just use salt. I do salt. I do salsa. Those are like the two things that are a staple in my diet for seasonings, if you will. Salt's not a seasoning, it's a condiment, but still. You get the idea. It's to add flavor to your food. That's the whole point of seasoning. It's the whole point of sauces, too, in most cases. What are we sitting on? Oh, you're on a tripod. You are on a K&F Concept 234A1 tripod. It's pretty good. It does what I need to do. I'm not sure. I don't really have too much in reference to like judging multiple tripods, but this one's pretty good. I like it. The black parts are just bruising. You get those on other stuff. But you know, it's usually bruising inside the potato though, like not the outside. That's what confuses me. Like there's times in which potato looks perfectly fine on the outside, but the inside is blackened in some parts. We're cooking ground beef in a somewhat unique way. It's not like, it's the way that people recommend, but that most folks don't do. It takes a bit more time. Oh, I do have smoked paprika. I do have that, actually. I've been adding this to my goulash. I don't really taste it, but I still add it because why not? That's the wrong thing. Boom. Like I have this, I've been adding it. I don't really taste the difference. I think the issue is I'm not adding enough. And if that's the problem, it's expensive to add this. I gotta add like freaking a quarter of the container to 3 pounds of stew or goulash, American chili, whatever you want to call it, to make it actually have a difference in flavor. Where's my mouse? Found it. Boom. Fixed it. Sick. All right, this isn't necessarily a plug, this is more so a question. I haven't actually asked this question yet. Does this hat look cool or nah? Am I? Oh my God, I keep forgetting it's over here and not over here. This is the O Arrowhead hat. Thoughts, questions, concerns? It's not the same as Arrowhead's actual symbol, so I don't think they can sue me. Fingers crossed. But I want to do more cool things that are neat. Because people in the past have given me money for nothing, so I figured if I could sell things that are cool, it'd be awesome. Like things that they can actually buy and want to have and want to wear. That would be ideal. Versus like, here's 20 bucks for existing. I appreciate that. But I don't know, I think it's cool to make merch that folks want to buy. Maybe the symbol should be a bit bigger. I was thinking that maybe as well. So right now it's on the side of the hat. You could put it in the middle and make it a bit bigger, but you can't make it too much bigger than that. It's just not possible. Like you have to get a different hat. Like you'd have to have this style of hat, which is like a bigger, this is a bigger dome. Like if you compare the two, which is hard to do. One of the hats is like much taller. Like this is like an extra ½ inch of height. I'm more of a shirt guy personally. But my brother makes those, or he embroiders the hats, and he's not doing shirts. He does shirts, kind of, but he needs to get like a whole new building, a whole new house to actually have a machine to make shirts the way he wants. At the moment, he has to buy screen print transfers, which is not super expensive, but when you're making a bunch of shirts, it definitely cuts into margins. No hoodie, he can make hoodies. My brother can embroider hoodies, he can embroider blankets, he can embroider hats, shirts, he can embroider anything. And he can do, again, screen print shirts. I think he can do screen print hoodies, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on that. But in reference to like merch, I'm fairly certain that if we could find designs that folks want to buy, because part of the issue, you could sit there and make 1,000 different designs, but every time you do that, it costs money paying for an artist, because I don't use ChatGPT to generate images. I don't do that personally, not a fan. I pay an artist, and it takes time for them to make it, and it takes time for me to figure out ideas, but every time you do that, then you have to pay to digitize it. It's a whole shebang. So, it's tough finding things that folks want to buy, and they don't feel obligated to buy. That whole ordeal. Needs to cook on Arrowhead. Use some of that deglazing tech to save the game. Well, about that. I'm not over like talking about it. Like I'm gonna keep playing Helldivers 2. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. The conversation has just been so annoyingly mundane, honestly, because it's the same stuff for the most part. It's been the same stuff for the past 2 years. I'm just over it. And I am so over. I am extremely over the official Discord lying about me constantly. There's this Muppet named Epoch something. There's actually a few people I don't know the names of. Epoch comes to mind because it's like the past 4 days. Doe spreads misinformation as he's lying about what I said, like in a lot of cases. Ridiculous. But I don't mind that folks don't like me. I mind when people have to misrepresent what I say to convince other folks to dislike me more than they otherwise would. Like, that's frustrating. I think it should go without saying. I digress. Did you try CGW? No. I'm a firm believer in not playing things like that myself, just because there's a decent chance it might ruin the game for me. Way back when I played Fortnite, back in like Season 4, I should have measured this. It's fine. Adding some olive oil. This is Rustico de Casa Azora. Something like that. But when I played Fortnite, they had a thing called solid gold mode that essentially it removed a ton of the RNG in the game, and it was really fun to play. The moment it went away, I stopped having as much fun playing Fortnite. So I stopped playing it. In Helldivers 2, for instance, if I play CGW and I'm like, oh my god, look at all the cool stuff that can happen in the game, and then once CGW gets taken down, which is almost certainly going to happen, I'm not advocating for it, but to think it's not going to take them down is kind of like you're hoping for a lot in that instance. If or when it gets taken down, now you have Helldivers 2 to play again, and it will not feel the same as CGW. You will not have anywhere near the same freedom. You won't have anywhere near the same things to do in the game. So then what? How you plan to handle that loss in a sense? That's why I don't play it. Plus, I think you have to disable the anti-cheat. I don't like the idea of doing that. I don't like Game Guard, but I also don't like the idea of going against something that I think it has kernel level access to your PC, although it means nothing because folks can bypass it. I just don't like the idea of disabling it. I'm a rule follower in that sense, kind of. All right, people are saying if you have 400 grams of potatoes, use 1% of that as olive oil. So 400 grams equals, I believe, 4 grams of olive oil. I didn't measure it with anything but my heart, so hopefully my heart was right. I'm across the freaking room. Go ahead and move this. Actually, I'll just bring you guys closer. We can do that. We have technology. Scanning down. Zooming in. Panning left. All right, you can kind of see it. Oi. But I am trying to play a bit more Helldivers 2 and actually post videos, because not posting anything is just really stupid, in my case especially. Like, it's my job to play the game. Or it's my job to play video games, and Helldivers 2 is the most monetarily beneficial game to play. But, as I've said before, I'm really getting bored of like the constant discussion of like the game making mistakes. It only makes sense to talk about that for me when it's new mistakes. And maybe if they compound with previous ones, then okay, sure. But you could be blue in the face talking about how they're making the same mistakes over and over again, or rehashing the old ones rather by themselves. And it's just boring. Not to mention, bro, I hate when it's the entirety of the chat, especially on a stream. I hate it. I can't stand it. Like whenever chat's just trying to razz on Helldivers 2 constantly, it's like, bro. Like, that is mind-numbing to me. Like, some folks like it. I don't care for it. Because I think it builds more resentment than people actually understand. Like, you're essentially making it a habit to dunk on the game. And so at a certain point, people will actually disregard things that are good in the game because they've just essentially made themselves so bitter for no good reason. So it's no benefit to anyone in that instance. And it's also annoying for me, personally. That's why I made a video in the past talking about how it's become popular to hate Helldivers 2, and I didn't like that just as much as I didn't like Helldivers 2 doing dumb stuff in the first place. Like, both are bad. The devs making dumb decisions, bad. The players just adding nothing to the conversation, also bad. It's annoying. We cooking? That's true. All right, speaking of cooking, so we're at 30 minutes. Once it gets to about, I would say 12 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and start the beef. And I'm gonna cook the beef at the 5, which at 5 is, I think the max this thing can go is 10. Give me it. Can you even see me? Oh, you can. Sick. All right, just do a quick test. The max you can go is P. P is the max you can go, just so we're all clear. Apparently it's 10. Is this lunch or dinner? This is my first meal. I think I do technically 2 meals a day, and I usually have yogurt as like a snack, which is like 250 grams of Oikos yogurt and about 220 grams of frozen berries for that snack. The first meal, it depends on what I do. So it's either gonna cycle between a goulash, or in this case, ground beef with potatoes, but it'd be goulash potatoes, this potatoes, or eggs and potatoes. And then my dinner, or my last meal, will be whatever I didn't have before. But normally I do goulash or eggs. I'm making this because I didn't wake up early enough to make goulash, unfortunately. I played 007 way too late the past few days, and I don't know if it was particularly worth it. Unfortunately. I've been seeing folks talk about Subnautica 2 and Lego Batman, which they seem cool, but I don't know, dude. I feel like whenever I play games, those are cool, they're fun to play. I think that I just much more enjoy games that you can play for a prolonged period of time and get better at. I don't believe that Lego Batman's a game that's going to happen. It's like more so for the nostalgia, the story in a sense. 007, you're playing it for the story through and through, and for essentially having the feeling you're playing in a movie, which also includes the corniness of what can happen in a movie. Why protein powder is my why? Whey protein powder is my morning favorite. I usually go to the gym when I wake up. So I wake up, I take about an hour to get up and whatnot, just get everything going. I have like 15 grams of creatine, a scoop of whatever this is, optimized minerals, and like a small thing of water, or a small thing of small thing of zero sugar juice, which is pretty good, low key. Then I have either a gummy snack or some form of carbs, and I go to the gym. I did get some milk, and I do have some cornflakes to have some cereal, which I might go back to having like actual cereal, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Apple Jacks maybe. I don't know. I feel like those make me feel not bad, but just not as good as I could. But Welch's gummy snacks go crazy. Those are like my favorite pre-workout snack. I used to do Rice Krispies. I can't. I'll have too many. I'll have like 11 in a day. That's obviously not ideal for what I'm trying to do. What is the end goal of those potatoes? They're gonna be baked. These are going in the trash. Speaking of, during this time, it'd be wise to clean stuff. That's actually how you're supposed to do cooking. You clean as you go. So I'm gonna clean my cutting board and my knife. Full transparency, I do not normally clean this because I just cut potatoes and those get washed and they go in the oven, so I don't really care. I probably should though. Clean it more often. Play Darktide? Darktide's okay. Some folks love it. I can live without it easily. I played it for about 20 or maybe, I think maximum 40 hours. It just does not have what I'm looking for in a horde shooter in the slightest. Like, I'm looking for more horde shooters that really envelop the idea of weak spots and like the unique ways that Helldivers 2 has. I feel like that's one thing that a lot of horde shooters don't do often. Like the furthest they'll go is, oh, you can shoot it in the head, and that's cool. Like in Far Far West, they don't have crazy weak spots, but they do have spells, and things get ridiculous in that manner, so that's actually kind of fun. But even with Far Far West, if you play it enough, you're like, what else is there to do right now? They're working on stuff though, so they're actually trying to innovate in a creative way. They're adding more mini bosses, or they're adding bosses, and they're adding a new Zerker faction of sorts. So I'm not razzing them, I'm just saying. But I don't know of many horde shooters that do that well, unfortunately. All right, knife is clean. It's difficult cleaning a knife that's kind of sharp because you freaking miff up your sponge. Where's it? Okay, I don't have a... So I got this from Heritage Steel for free, by the way. If you end up buying a knife like this or any knife, make sure it comes with a sheath or look for a add-on sheath. Because in this case, it's $5 for a sheath for it. I didn't ask for that, so I just have this 10-inch blade that rests on my counter. If my nieces and nephews come over, I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure out where to put it. We're at 24 minutes. I tried telling you it was late, but you told me 3 a.m. No, Ben, no. Ben, I didn't know it was 3 a.m. for me. When you said it's 3 a.m., I was like, it's 3 a.m. for you. For me, I thought it was like maybe midnight. Time flew in that game. That was 100% my bad. What the hell? Why is there discoloration on my... I just bought this yesterday. Boo! That better not keep happening. I'll show you in a second. I gotta wash this thing sideways like so, because it's freaking long. Made in China? Maybe. I tried looking for a good brand. This one, I don't know if it is made in China, but people were saying that Safelite boards are kind of godlike, and so I bought into the hype. Hopefully they weren't lying. I can't tell if that discoloration was always there and I never saw it, but we'll see what happens. If the board goes to garbage, I will have my grievances online. They'll be very visible. Oh, who here plays No Man's Sky? Because they keep updating that game for free, constantly. And they just had a new update that, if I read and understand it correctly, essentially adds a galactic war effort. You're fighting a new swarm faction, so it's very Helldivers 2-esque in that sense, potentially. So that seems pretty cool. I'm just not sure, like, how does the game feel to play? I actually own it, and I've owned it since 2024. I never actually played it. Get a boo block? Get a what? Okay, once I draw it off, I'll show you the spot I'm talking about. It's not crazy. It's just a blemish that I wouldn't expect in my newly purchased board that I just got. Which is a double... It's like redundant in that sense. Oh my god. Boom. Alright, where is it at? Here it is. You see it. It's like someone put a Sharpie on my freaking cutting board. These are pretty thin though. See that? When you're making more Helldivers 2 content, I love watching you play Helldivers 2. I'm working on a Constitution video right now. Realistically, it should have been done a few days ago. We'll see what happens though. It's going to be like a Constitution guide, if you will. It'll be talking about the Forgotten Marksman Rifle, Constitution. Showing what it can do, which isn't that much, and talking about what it should probably get done to it to improve. Because I think that guns should not suck in Helldivers 2, regardless of what the intention is. It's kind of like why make content that you can't actually, that you don't want to engage with? Like, because most folks don't want to engage with it. This goes back into its layer. Actually, maybe I'm gonna let it out to dry. We'll do that. I'm not sure where exactly though. This is a conundrum of mass proportions. I'll put it on one of the thousands, one of the few egg cartons I have. Constitution, your sanity? Eh. Constitution's not, so it's not a great weapon, but like, I don't know, man. If I get paid for making the video, I will be completely fine. If the video gets posted and does nothing, like the numbers are terrible, the RPM's terrible, that would be the biggest blow to my sanity than just playing the Constitution. Now, I do plan on doing some solo runs with it potentially, so that could actually be a mistake. We'll see what pans out. Anywho, it's time to get the ground beef ready. So I get bricks of ground beef from Walmart. These are, where's it at? Oh. These are the Central Market. There's no branding because I buy the 3-pack, so it's 3 pounds. This is just a piece I cut off. It's just a flat out square. It's too thick to put on the stove and cook properly, so I won't be doing that, just like as it is. Instead, I'm gonna get some parchment paper out. I'm gonna parchment paper one trick and smash it down a little bit. You can use your bare hands, that's fine too. I don't, because I don't want to wash my hands. I don't feel like doing that. I do wash my hands, just I don't want to have to wash it right now. Just so we're clear, just so we're clear. Boom. I'll go ahead and cut it off first. I don't want to freaking rinse that again. It's long AF. Where's my other knife? I have multiple. They're all on the counter? Bro, I gotta figure my life out. I like a magnetic holder for knives. That'd be cool. What? That is not particularly the best shot in the world. My bad. I fixed it though. Boom. Actually, matter of fact, what am I doing? I can just do this. All right. So before I was doing some like nonsense to get this out of the package, you just slice it like so. Okay, wait. Boom. Boom. And you can lift an edge. Put the not sharp side up so you can grab it. And you just break it. And you plop it down. As I play jump rope over this cable, that if I break, I'd be very upset. It's a risk I take. Ooh, today was leg day, by the way. I was going hard in the gym. It's so easy to be in the gym and not push yourself and just have that be a trend going forward for a while. And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm kind of getting tired of that. So obviously maintaining proper form, but you come to the realization that you need to actually push yourself just a little bit. Just a little bit each time, otherwise you won't grow stronger. And I want to grow stronger, man. It's my goal. All right. One parchment paper. Dos parchment paper. Semi-loud, my bad. Can't quite help it though. And smash it down to, I guess, 1/2 inch. I think this is legitimately an inch block. So I want to go half that. And if you go too far, it's all good and dandy. Just take your spatula and you can straighten things out. Boom. Now normally I'll do 3 pounds of beef, kind of like this, like honestly in the same method I'm about to show you. And I'll put that in the goulash. Because if you do raw beef in goulash, or if you do raw beef in a crock pot, it does not turn out nearly as good as you would expect. I've seen folks recommend it, but it's just gross. Edible, but gross. Oh, well. The goal is not to rip that. If your beef is cold enough from the fridge, you can just simply plop this underneath and it should all maintain rigidity. This is a 3x6-inch spatula. If you buy one of these, make sure the ends aren't sharp. I got one that I don't even use because it's a lethal weapon. It's a lethal weapon. I gotta like find a way to dull that. That's the only issue though that I have right now. Anyway, put this back in its place. Stove is not hot enough yet. We shall wait for that thing to get to temperature. This extra long cable I got is godlike, brother. I need to clean my freaking stove, whatever. Whatever. How we found out Odo, what? Bro, all I'm gonna say, I'd be very, I wouldn't joke about that kind of stuff. I think that's part of the issue these days, is like those kinds of things, those kinds of like, those things are, I wouldn't even say they're funny to joke about, but people do it like flippantly. It's not ideal. There's ground turkey and beans in mine and make it spicy as all get out. So what I make is more like a chili mac. I think that my stuff is kind of like, it's chili-esque, but I add carrots, which I don't think is really a chili thing to do. And I googled goulash, and goulash is just a hearty stew comprised of protein, and that's kind of like the thing. But I've never done an actual Hungarian goulash recipe. And someone said, that's not goulash, and I asked them, okay, what's a recipe? Like very non-confrontational, like what's a recipe? And they left me on red. So they were mad at my goulash. That's probably not even goulash, but they wouldn't help me learn. That was awesome stuff. Riveting if you will. It's not hot enough. So note to self, I should preheat the pan. Actually, we're still good. We're doing good on time. Time is about 13:30. We're doing good on time. Staring at the timer. The timer, the crumbs, speaking of. I need to actually clean my stove here soonish. I don't believe you should be using alcohol on the stove. You probably can. I'm gonna have to Google that. But I've got vinegar, I've got alcohol, or rubbing alcohol rather. This will not pick up these crumbs for the life of it. That's on the floor. GG's. Yeah. Oi. Okay, now I think it's hot enough. Perchance. Kitchen's clean. It's not that clean. I need to get something for this, like I need to get like a backsplash for the oven so it doesn't get so much splatter on the actual wall. That's one thing I should do. Excusez-moi. I'll show you what I mean about the ground beef sticking properly. Like that. You should be doing that. Boom. And then you plop her down. I wouldn't season any side quite yet, just because you'll probably burn the seasoning off in this process. We're gonna let it get a crust for, I'm not sure how long exactly. I suggest bread and or cookies for name's sake. I probably should try and bake something. I would probably do cookies over bread personally. Ideally from scratch too. But that requires figuring out a cookie recipe. But hey, we can probably do it sometime. I'm not against it. Ooh, this is thine first aid antiseptic. Are you supposed to use isopropyl alcohol 91% for cleaning stuff in the kitchen, or is that too much? Because that's what I got. That's in my spray bottle to the right. I don't know what they're talking about. Oost. But dude, the new strategy for me, I want to make sure I have probably a few, like maybe 2 or 3 pounds of ground beef on hand. If I don't have goulash, I can just let it defrost on the counter for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and it's defrosted, ready to go. And I can just do this. And this is probably way better for me than going to get fast food right now. Also way cheaper. Like a pound of ground beef, okay, maybe not way cheaper actually. I buy expensive ground beef. Maybe not way cheaper, but it'll help me hit my macros better, that's for sure. Because the fast food restaurants, they tend to use 80-20 ground beef, which is a lot more calories than, let's say, 93-7 ground beef. Or if you do turkey, it's even more calories than that. Fast food's a mistake? It can be. If you're trying to lose weight, it's mostly not ideal. You can make it work though. Like you can go to like Chick-fil-A and get their grilled chicken. That's pretty high in protein. Not super highly processed as opposed to their other meal options. But I don't really like chicken that much, so I wouldn't really do that myself. I'm a burger enthusiast. I do try and eat more chicken though at the house, which I haven't done it recently, but for chicken crock pot meals, those are so easy. You just get raw chicken, cut off the fat you don't want, put it in the crock pot with your other stuff, and you call it a day. Ground beef, I do this. I sear it first. Makes it taste better. Chicken, I don't care. Timer's hitting 10 minutes. Woo! There's no QuickTime events, though, unfortunately. I prefer when the beef doesn't have any boil through on the top, but I can't really help it that much. I'm not sure how I'd stop that. Now, I will say, this oven sucks. This is the obligatory announcement that the oven, the stovetop, isn't that good. So it has an issue with heating things properly. And that's why I don't really do anything bigger than this. Like in a perfect world, I could do like 3 pounds of ground beef. I bought like a stainless steel griddle that was $300 and I can't even use it. Came for tier list video. On what, ground beef? Alright, I got you. Central Market ground beef, S tier. HEB grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef, B plus tier. Regular $6 ground beef, if it's what you can afford, go crazy. But if you can get something better, I'd recommend the other two. So for the $6 ground beef, the price is probably definitely a factor. I'm gonna give that C plus tier. That's where I think it belongs. Like I do think that value, like the price of things matters for sure. Make sure it's not attached. You would not want the Maillard reaction crust you've created to get slung off, which is not. Do you see that butte, lads? Do you see it? That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's the Maillard reaction right there. The crust creation. Where's my bone broth? Ooh, if you are a Saudi oil prince, you can buy these. Belinsky sausage, they're like $7 a container. but the macros are kind of godlike. It's 80 calories per link with 12 grams of protein. They're pretty high in sodium. I just don't care because I'm an active person and I don't have too much sodium from fast food because I don't really eat fast food that much. Right now, at least. But those are very good. They're chicken sausages. Now, I'm gonna season this with salt when I'm done, because I'm not done yet. Spam eggs and bacon with Spam on Spam toast. No. My dad loves Spam. I never got into it, ever. Nick, thanks to the two by the way. I was trying to say brother and by the way at the same time, did not work out. All right, just to give you guys a better glimpse of the crust I'm talking about. That's not burnt, I promise. That is Maillard reaction, pretty good. I think I could probably do better if I had a better heat gauge. Spam's overhated. Gotta get the reduced sodium version though because it still has a ton. I think Spam is just meh. I don't hate it, I just don't like it. What did you do before you got into content creation full time? I worked at a gym. Before that, I worked at a hardware store. I got into content creation, I wouldn't say I started making money from it until about 2022-ish, maybe 2020. But before that, I just did part-time jobs. Like I started going after content creation pretty early in my adult life. Where are the eggs? There's no eggs right now. I'm gonna have eggs later. All right, once this is done getting brown on the other side, I'm gonna chop it long ways. Probably 3 different cuts. And then flip those logs, the beef logs on their side to get another Maillard reaction. You see where I'm going with this? I'm going to Maillard reaction max the ever-living heck out of the ground beef. That is how I cook ground beef. It takes a while, sure. It's worth it though. I think it tastes good. And plus I got time, so why not? If it lifts off easy, it's done cooking normally. So we cut it long ways. It kind of wants to separate, but oh well. Oh wait. Boom. Flip that over. That too as well. That as well. And I probably won't cook it all the way because it's already losing a lot of the redness, which means I'm cooking it out. And I don't want to make that like tough. You know what I mean? Where's my bone broth? I found it. I'm going under the wire now. I can't tell if the strat works better if you leave the beef thicker or less thick like this. Like I said, we won't cook it too long on each side. Okay, one of those didn't flip. Actually, 2 of them didn't flip. It was cool in my head. It didn't work out that well, though. Alright, now this is basically done. Now we chop it into cubes. In this case, the beef wasn't, like, I didn't defrost it properly. Normally I put it in the fridge and it defrosts over the course of roughly 2 days. And that gives it a bit more, I'd say, rigidity. In this case, it's not like falling apart, but it also cooked faster than I'm used to, kind of. I'd say it all worked out though. And now to help deglaze the pan, get off all the bits that are, I wouldn't say burnt on, but cooked on. Use a little bit of beef bone broth in the actual container with the lid. I'm not sure how long this lasts either. Like once you open it. I'm gonna turn it off. And scrape off the stuff. And the oven's done. Boom. Did that burn it? Ah, ooh, I almost burnt it. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Man the hatches. These are the potatoes. Boom, bada bing, slash. Are you doing the 6-7 thing again? I saw, oh my, you're not. You are! Slash, thanks to the 607. I didn't even see your name, by the way. I saw like, I saw a donation. I saw an icon I assume was yours. I just assumed that you're saying some nonsense. Seek some help, okay? You're ridiculous. All right, get yourself a bowl or a plate. I'm gonna use a bowl for this, which I just did the dishes, and I can't reach it because you're blocking it, guys. What are we doing? I'll throw it away in a second. Hey. And now, because I don't want to lose the rest of this, where is my spatula? Silicone spatula. If you guys weren't here, actually, you guys are here, I don't really care. I'm gonna go ahead and clean my pan because it just makes more sense that way. I'm gonna first zoom out though. I'm gonna clean my pan because I recommend cleaning as you go. That's not, 1 second. I should have put the dishes away because now this is a whole ordeal. I had to get the bowl from the back of that thing. Boom. Scoot you guys to the right. All right, sick. This is the pan. Just to keep my little, this is like a wool cloth that's got metal stuff in it so I can scrape things off better. I'm gonna clean it with a little sponge real quick first, and then I'll go in with that to get a lot of the other stuff that's built into it off, including the mineral deposits. Like I could spend like a few more seconds, it's basically clean already. But there's like these mineral deposits, these mineral spots that make it discolored. For that, barkeeper's friend, and some form of an abrasive thing. And you should get all that stuff off of there quick, fast, and in a hurry. Without like much elbow grease at all. The only time it's hard to clean things is usually after you wait too long to clean it. You let stuff get caked on. And in that case, you tend to have to, what? I missed a spot, whatever. I'm only human. Okay, ignoring the spot I missed. I love stainless steel. I'm a big fan. It's just fun to cook on, and I love cleaning it, oddly enough. I like the fact that it gets clean like that. Okay. Clean my silicone spatula. Clean my other spatula after scraping it off into the bowl first. Make sure I have all the stuff. Okay. I don't need too much water for this. Turning at a view? Is it moving? Did I move you guys? Would you want to stream your cooking? I don't know. I like cooking. I like fitness. I like cooking. I can't really stream at the gym. I can't stream at the gym because it'd be kind of weird and awkward. It's also a very small gym, so I don't want to do that. And I cook like this pretty much every day. So I figured, why not stream it? Especially if I can sort of, in some sense, I can promote the pans that I sell, which I don't do a crazy good job of doing that personally. Like I talk about the pans, but I don't say like, hey guys, use code ODO10 at heritage.com. I just kind of like sharing things that I think could improve people's lives. This is far more beneficial than video games as well. Like folks being able to cook for themselves is a big deal. Plus, it is cool to be able to cook on stainless steel like I do. Like, I think it's kind of cool. All right, everything's clean. We'll do this. All right, this is the bowl of beef. It is pretty good. I'll leave that there. Actually, 1 second. All right. With these potatoes, I do this. First, I bunch them together. Then, I get a pinch of salt. And do that. I think if I want to be extra, I can get like a bag and shake them up like I'm at McDonald's. But oh well. And for the ground beef, same thing, kinda. Get a pinch of salt. And boom. Now you combine it all together, and you are chilling. I may add salsa to this. Methinks. Nothing fell. We are chilling. All right, that's the food. I had someone that doesn't like me take a screenshot of my food, and they're posting in the official Discord going, "He eats this slop." Like, dude, do you need your food to be pretty to taste good and to be nutritious? I don't understand. Like, it's not plated well, but who cares? I'm eating it. I could do a better plate job for y'all, But it ain't no big deal. Yeah, meat and potatoes is one of my favorite things. Why are we so far down? Is it drifting? All right. I probably won't eat the whole thing on stream. Like I said, I'm not really a mukbanger. But I did make the food, so I may as well eat it. This is the chip. There's some crunch, but not a lot. Basically, the parts that are too thin get a bit crispy, but the inside is still kind of fluffy in a sense. That is the tater technology. The beef, in this case, might be a little dry. Still good. I can always add salsa to make it less dry. That was actually good. I live alone. This is not weird. If you live with people, this would be a bit weird. Like licking your fork and putting it in like a container of sauce. But I am chill. This is 5 calories per 2 tablespoons. Salsa is a calorie deficit hack. I can't really mix it up that well because there's a bunch of stuff in this bowl. But I can grab this and that and hit him with a young. I'm telling you, I'm a big fan. All right. I believe that's the stream. I appreciate y'all's time. Thank you very much for watching. Auf Wiedersehen. Where's my mouse?